You're watching First Alert 7 News at 9 on the CW and live on YouTube with Lauren Munt and weather with Tom Tiefertiller.
Thanks for joining us for First Alert 7 News on the CW, and thanks to those of you joining us live on our YouTube. I'm Lauren Munt, and we start tonight tracking crime. Many of our viewers have reached out to share concerns over posts circulating social media, indicating a school shooting will take place somewhere in the Permian Basin. First Alert 7 closely followed the situation and spoke with law enforcement to learn more about how threats are shared, spread, and responded to.
Every single threat is taken 100% seriously.
Last night, a post circulated on social media warning Ector County ISD students that an attack would be made at one of the district's schools. Other 432 school districts investigated similar threats, but none of those posts were considered credible.
If we're tracing IPs and it's coming back to somewhere overseas, that's a pretty good indication it's probably not a local threat that's going to be for our school. Another clue or indication we have is usually if it's extremely vague.
In Alpine, Brewster County sheriffs tracked a social media post to an author in Connecticut, which was then reposted by an author from Midland. In Kermit, officers began investigating a separate threat that was made on Friday.
Go through every single one of them through that process of sending it to the data centers, getting our federal resources, our state resources to start looking at it, figuring out where it came from. Is it credible? Is there more information? Can we trace it back to a student?
Law enforcement officers are prepared to work around the clock to protect the local schools.
We're knocking on doors, we're waking up parents, we're finding out because we're not going to wait till the next school day to find out.
And even after a threat is determined not to be credible, extra precautions are still taken for the safety of local students.
We're entrusted with the safety and well-being of the most precious thing in the world.
At this time, the investigation into the original source of the threat is ongoing, and we will update you as we learn more. Continuing to track crime, Midland Crime Stoppers is looking for this man, 20-year-old Frank Ronquillo. He's wanted for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and according to Crime Stoppers, he could be staying in Odessa. Anyone with information on Ronquillo's whereabouts is asked to call Midland Crime Stoppers. That number can be found up there on your screen. And yesterday, Upton County officials responded to what they believed was a cluster bomb near a McCamey school. According to the City of Midland, MPD received a request to help investigate. MPD officers traveled to the scene and helped identify what the item was via X-rays. After investigation, the object was determined to be an oil field tool, and there was no threat to the school or any surrounding areas. And we've got an update for you. The missing woman from Odessa, she's been found. According to police on Friday, they released that 21-year-old Ariana Muniz was missing. And we'd been telling you about this story since then. OPD thanks the public for its help with their investigation. And the Odessa Police Department, they traveled to Dallas this past weekend to help honor a fallen Dallas Police Department officer. The department helped pay tribute at the funeral of Officer Darren Burks, who was ambushed and killed while sitting in a marked patrol unit. 2 other officers were also shot by the same suspect. OPD is extending their condolences to Dallas PD and the family of Officer Burks during this difficult time. We're going to take a pause now and talk your weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller. Tom, how's it going out there?
Hey, it was a pretty nice day out there, Lauren. As we take a look at your high temperatures, well, they were into the mid-80s, so we're starting to warm up a little bit, but you're about to say goodbye to this and say hello to the 90s here over the next couple of days because things are going to warm up. Currently, temperatures, as we look at our live iCam in Andrews, on a great evening out there, temperatures are into the mid-70s, Andrews South into the Permian Basin at the present time. So we're starting to see things cool off a little bit across the area, making for some nice conditions. Combine that with light winds, low humidity levels, and we are going to see temperatures tumble into the overnight hours. Here's a look at those hourly temperatures dropping down into the upper 50s, it looks like, overnight tonight. And then for the next 24 hours, well, things are going to start to warm back up. Some 90s visiting parts of West Texas. We'll talk about that and show you how summer's not done yet here in a few minutes.
Thank you, Tom. This morning, energy industry professionals with Permian Basin Steps held their monthly safety-focused meeting at Midland College. These monthly meetings provide fresh perspectives and valuable insights. Each session offers an opportunity to leverage participants' experiences and learn from them. While they primarily focus on safety in the oil and construction industries, their meetings are open to the public, and they want to offer those interested an opportunity to come together with other like-minded individuals for a common goal of promoting safety.
We go on autopilot, we lose sight of where we are, what we're doing, who's around us, what's going on.
It's not just for work, but we try to make sure everybody understands, man, take this home. share this with other people.
For those interested in learning more, Permian Basin STEPS meetings are open to the public and no membership fees are required. You can find more information that's up on our website, firstalert7.com. And Texas could adopt a revised oil and gas waste management rules for the first time in 40 years. The Railroad Commission is soliciting public comment on a draft rule that regulates disposal sites. An agency spokesperson says it includes strategies to protect groundwater from pollution, including engineering and design controls, groundwater monitoring, and closure standards. Comments are being accepted on the agency's website until October 15th. And Diamondback Energy, they announced today that it has closed its merger with Endeavor Energy Resources. In a statement released, the chairman of Diamondback said, part, quote, "We're pleased to announce the closing of this transformative merger, creating a must-own North American independent oil company," end quote. Let's talk some education news now. Today, Odessa College unveiled its new Wood Health and Sciences building. Along with current programs like nursing, EMT, and physical therapy, the college has also been able to bring back respiratory care with the additional space. And while this space does include traditional classrooms, the most impressive part is its new simulated hospital.
The simulation part of it allows us to work with more students than we've ever been able to work with before, to increase the numbers in our programs, because the clinical experience can be more limited out in the field because our students will get a strong simulated clinical experience here at this facility.
The Wood Health and Science Building is the largest building in Odessa College history, and it's about 83,000 square feet. And mark your calendar for October 11th because the Texas-sized garage sale is back for its 35th year. Shoppers are going to be able to sift through lots of goodies for sale in this huge warehouse. The Texas-sized garage sale is Senior Life of Midland's Meals on Wheels, biggest fundraiser of the year. Revenue created funds 1/3 of the meals produced annually, and about $8 spent is equal to one meal. The United Way of Midland's 2024 annual campaign kicked off today at Susie's South 40 Confections. The campaign focused on needs in education, social, health, and workforce development through partnerships and community-driven efforts. The funds raised from the campaign will support various programs and initiatives in building a supportive family system across all generations. The event tonight was an opportunity for people to learn more about what United Way does for the community, and was also a way to raise money for their initiatives as they start their 2024 campaign season.
Well, what we're focusing on this year is helping the whole family as a unit, not just brother, sister, mom or dad. Parents, English, lessons to learn English, or helping children with reading. We partner with other agencies in our area to make sure the family unit has what they need to be successful.
United Way of Midland has 23 community partners, 44 programs funded, 11 one-time grants awarded, and 56 out of 56,915 clients reached. We've got a groundbreaking date for the new Diamondback Energy Sports Complex in Midland. The Midland Athletic Syndicate and Diamondback will break ground on October 2nd. The indoor sports complex will be located just off of Loop 250 next to Astound Broadband Stadium. The facility will be 115,000 square feet, and it'll feature 6 full-size basketball courts that convert into 12 volleyball courts. There's also a turf field and meeting rooms, and it's been completely funded by private and corporate donations. In Odessa, progress continues for another sports complex. According to the city, today, council members approved a memorandum of understanding with Centurion, the company funding the sports complex. This sports complex will be 140,000 square feet with pickleball and volleyball courts, a track, and more. City leaders added that this is a private-public partnership that will not cost taxpayers a dime. Continuing to talk sports now, today we're continuing to recap week 2 of high school football, starting with the Midland Bulldogs, who took down the Pebble Hills Spartans 28-23. Friday's win against Pebble Hills comes after falling to South Lake Carroll in week 1. Running back and UT El Paso commit Elijah McCoy led the Bulldogs as he ran over 130 yards with 2 touchdowns. Head coach Thad Fortune is happy with the way his team executed down the stretch during the game en route to their first win of the season.
I've just got so much admiration for our football team right now and for our offensive players. Is that we talk a lot around here about that you got to be great without the ball. And so our kids are great without the ball right now. They're carrying their fakes out, or they're carrying out their blocking assignments, or they're running their path. They're doing their job, and then when you do that, you have a chance to to have some big plays, and we had a lot of big plays Friday night.
The Bulldogs will be on the road this Friday when they visit the Amarillo Sandies. And Midland High's crosstown rivals, Legacy Rebels, they fell to Euless Trinity. This puts the Rebs starting the season 0-2. And despite this loss, head coach Clint Hartman highlighted Jaden Rogers' performance as he had over 400 yards combined between passing and rushing, while also adding about 6 touchdowns. Hartman believes these tough losses at the beginning of the season are setting his team up to be great in district games.
When you get down, you can't, you can get down and put your head down, but it ain't going to help. It's kind of like the ostrich. You put your head in the sand, it ain't going to help you. You better get your butt ready to play. That's the way I look at it. And you better get ready to persevere, be persistent.
The Rebels are going to stay at home this Friday to host the Lake Travis Cavaliers. And after a tough Week 1 loss, the Midland Christian Mustangs nabbed their first win of the year as they took down Bishop Lynch 20-3. Head coach Chris Cunningham loves the progress and hard work that his team put in last week en route to tally a win.
We identified some things we needed to do better, and we came back that next week and did that. And so feel like Bishop Lynch was a good football team, but our kids really showed up and took care of some of those things that we need to do better, and so it was good to see where we ended up there.
And UTV Athletics is Giving Day is currently underway. This is a 24-hour online giving campaign, and it's an opportunity for the community to support student athletes both on and off the field. UTBB wants the community to know gifts of all sizes matter, no matter how big or small. All donations will have a meaningful impact on the athletes. To support UTBB's athletes, visit givingday.utbb.edu. The opportunity to donate ends tomorrow at noon. And coming up, Francine is now a Category 1 hurricane, according to the National Hurricane Center. How Texans are preparing, up next.
The loss of power is a very serious reality. We saw it during Hurricane Beryl. We're going to see it again. We don't know about Francine, but we'll have to wait and see.
The state of Texas is urging personal preparedness as Tropical Storm Francine strengthens into a hurricane. Southeast Texas power companies are preparing for Francine's potential impact. CenterPoint Energy says it wants to assure its customers it's executing a plan to address the storm. The company was heavily criticized for its response to Hurricane Beryl in July, and some greater Houston residents were without power for weeks after the storm.
The loss of power is a very serious reality. We saw it during Hurricane Beryl. We're going to see it again. We don't know about Francine, but we'll have to wait and see.
Well, we'll get you an update on Hurricane Francine now, plus our weather looking pretty quiet. We'll talk about that coming up next.
Now, from the First Alert 7 Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Well, again, the weather in West Texas is not going to be affected by Hurricane Francine. All that is going to stay well off to our east and southeast. Here's the latest look on our live radar again, showing you out in the Gulf of Mexico. This thing has really hustled here and moved off to the northeast almost directly, as it is going to be moving off to the northeast and again affecting portions of Louisiana as a possible Category 2 hurricane somewhere between Lafayette and New Orleans. So that is really not going to have too many effects other than a few showers, maybe some tropical storm force winds up along the Golden Triangle in the upper Texas coast, but that should really be about it, as again it is moving off to the north and east. Taking a look at West Texas again, we are seeing lots of dry air on the backside of this system, and that's going to keep things relatively nice, but we'll see more of a southeast to southerly wind, so we're going to see things warm up quite a bit. And then this little trough low pressure is going to scoot across, and that may bring some clouds into the forecast for the weekend, but other than that, though, it looks like a return to summer weather. As a satellite and radar view across the state right now showing relatively quiet conditions in our forecast. Should say right now, and that's going to continue in our forecast again, as we do have, we'll have to change that symbol to a hurricane, but it is moving off to the north and east out in the western Gulf of Mexico. The state of Texas pretty quiet with that area of high pressure. High temperatures today, well, we did warm up into the low 90s along the Balcones Escarpment into the Edwards Plateau and the Presidio Valley, up to 90. 85 again out at the Miller National Air and Spaceport. So not all that bad, not too much in the skies on the Futurecast as we're going to be looking at lots of sunshine on the way, maybe a couple of high clouds tomorrow across southeast of Mexico, Guadalupe Mountains National Park, but they're going to be few and far between. Really not much happening for the rest of the week other than a warm up. Tonight, we're looking at temperatures in the upper 50s, so a touch of fall first thing in the morning, but we'll forget that by the afternoon as temperatures will approach 90 plus out there for many areas. And it's just the start of a big time warming trend that will peak coming up on Friday, it looks like, with temperatures upper 90s to low triple digits for some parts of West Texas and staying a little hot with a few more clouds on the way coming up for the weekend.
Up next here at 9, Meta has made changes to its features on Facebook and Instagram because of a new Texas social media safety law. We'll tell you more about it next. Meta has made changes to its features on Facebook and Instagram because of a new Texas social media safety law, House Bill 18. It's also known as the SCOPE Act, and it requires digital service providers to obtain parental permission before letting minors online. Meta's new tools allow parents in Texas to see and update their child's account settings, set time limits on usage, and even delete their account altogether. And politicians down under are looking to ban young children from using social media. Australia will become one of the first countries in the world to impose age restrictions for platforms like TikTok and Instagram. CBS's Tina Kraus has the story.
Australia's Prime Minister says there's nothing social about social media, and his government plans to set a minimum age for teenagers to use it.
I want to see kids off their devices and onto the footy fields and the swimming pools and the tennis courts. We want them to have real experiences with real people because we know that social media is causing social harm.
Australia will draw the line somewhere between 14 and 16 years old to prevent anyone younger from using social media platforms without their parents' permission.
You can see some crazy things that kids should not see on those platforms, so I think that's good.
But some experts warn the law could backfire, preventing younger kids from finding the support they need or driving them to use social media secretly, increasing the danger.
This is a global issue that governments around the globe are trying to deal with.
More than a dozen U.S. states are pushing for legislation to protect children from online harm, including bullying. Utah requires minors under 18 to get parental consent before using platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Australia hopes to become one of the first countries in the world to set age limits after an initial trial of age verification technology. But questions remain about whether a ban will be enforceable or effective. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
All right, Tom, before we go take a look at this, some doggies got soggy for a good cause this weekend. 50 dogs and their owners met up at the Dog Beach in Del Mar Sunday morning for the Helen Woodward Animal Center's Surf Dog Surfathon. That's a big, lots of words there. It's the longest running dog surfing event in the nation, and it raises funds for local services that take care of at-risk or orphan dogs. Canines of all kinds and sizes took part in the contest. Look how cute they are. They surf better than me.
Especially the one going backwards
with
the mohawk.
They surf a lot better than me. I've used a boogie board. That's as far into surfing as I've ever gotten.
We have video of all kinds of things surfing. Dogs. I think we've had some pig surfing video.
You know what I like?
Never seen a cat.
The dogs that I've never seen a cat surf. But you know what I like is the dog that skateboards during the, I think it's the Macy's parade. That's the best part of the whole parade is the dog that, I wonder if he was there. Skateboarding and surfing are basically the same thing.
Yeah, same. Maybe so.
He
Maybe
might
we'll
have
see
been
one
there.
of these dogs skating next Christmas parade.
There we go.
That'd be
They
fun.
should have that.
That should be fun.
It's good weather for surfing.
Good weather for surfing, skating, anything else, as we're going to see things warm up quite a bit. Patriots Day looks about 88 degrees, lots of sunshine on the way, and also looking about like that for the weekend.
All right, thanks for joining us for First Alert 7 News at 9 on the CW. We've got more news coming up tonight at 10.